Financial Intelligence 101. I want to look at the first subject on the list called compounding. Now, compounding is such a powerful principle that if you use it well, my goodness me, will it serve you. But what's interesting about this idea of compounding is that's something that we've actually seen before, and we're quite familiar with it. And when I was a child, I was brought up reading a book called the Bible. And my mother would have myself and my siblings on a Sunday after dinner. We would just literally read a number of chapters in the Bible, and we would just do round robin. One person would read a couple of verses, next person would read a couple of verses, and we all had a Bible in front of us. And not only did it improve our literacy rates when we were very young, but it also embedded us with a number of stories. And one of those stories I want to share with you now is called the Parable of the Talents. And it's in Matthew chapter 25, and I'm going to start from verse 14. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey, who called his servants and entrusted his property to them. To one he gave 5 talents of money, to another 2 talents, and to another 1 talent, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received the 5 talents went at once and put his money to work, and gained 5 more. So also the one with 2 talents gained 2 more. But the man who had received the 1 talent went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received the 5 talents brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 talents. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. The man with the 2 talents also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 talents. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. Then the man who had received the 1 talent came. Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your talents in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I have not sown, and I gather where I have not scattered seed? Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with bankers, so that when I returned, I would have received it back with interest. Take the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10 talents. For everyone who has will be given more, and he will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what little he has will be taken away from him. And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now that story, I find it very, very interesting. It's because it's actually got a hidden little gem in it. The servant said, I knew that you're a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So how do you harvest and gather where you have not sown or scattered seed? How do you make money without having to work for it? Now, this is the idea of passive income. You work for the money, but the money also works for you. So now you've got 2 sources of income: your labor, your energy, your intelligence, and the money itself being put in other people's hands, making money for you as well. And so by putting your money in the bank, as he suggested, bankers will go to work on your behalf and pay you interest. growing your money by a percentage. Putting your money into a business, and the business owners successfully managing their business, again, returning an investment to you, which is going to increase your wealth. And so this scripture here is planting the seed in your mind that the master in this story was accustomed to managing his money and have it grow for him. Whether he put it in the hands of his servants or in the hands of bankers, or in fact, in his case, he would go out and do business himself. Either way, he wants that money to multiply. Now, 5 became 10 and 2 became 4. That's a doubling effect. Imagine you have £1,000 and you decide you're going to double this money every year. So you have 1,000 and you double it. At the end of year 1, you're going to have £2,000. At the end of year 2, you take your 2,000, you double it again to £4,000. You take your balance of 4 and you double it, you have £8,000. Again, you double 8, you've got 16,000. You take a 16,000, you double it, you have 32,000. 32,000 becomes 64,000 in year 6. At the end of year 7, you would have 128,000. End of year 8, you have 256. At the end of year 9, you got 512,000. And at the end of year 10, you have £1 million. The formula that describes those steps you just heard me recount is the one above. P, open brackets, 1 plus R, close brackets, raised to the power of 10 equals a FE, which is a future value. In this formula, P is the principal. This is your starting investment, £1,000. R is the rate of growth. And this represents the speed at which your money or your investment grows. N, how long or how many times you repeat the process. And FV is the future value, the end result of your investing endeavors. Now, if we were to put numbers on that, it would look like this. 1,000, open brackets, 1 plus 1, 1 being 100% in this case, decimalized 100%, close brackets, raised to the power of 10 would give you 1,024,000, as I explained earlier. Okay? Now, if you could actually do this in 10 years, that is one way of doing it. But let's say you want to save that money. So let's actually take £1 million, 1,024,000, and I'm going to divide that by 10. So you'd have to save £100,000 a year to get that. And if I divide that annual amount by 12, you would have to save £8,500 to get £1 million in 10 years. However, if you start with £1,000 only and adding no more money, just doubled it each time with a set of activities which could do that, you would get the same results. And so this really shows you the power that money, you could actually start with a small amount of money and end up with a large amount of money if you was to observe with discipline this formula. And Mr. Albert Einstein himself said that compounding is the most powerful force in the universe. So saving money to become wealthy is not the way. Compounding money to become wealthy, this is the secret. You heard it first in the Bible, and now you're hearing it secondly from Mr. Albert Einstein himself.